Heather.
Yay!
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to our Saturday morning yoga flow. We're going to go ahead and get started in the child's position today, just seated towards the back of the mat, bringing the big toes together. You can draw the knees as far apart as you like. And we'll let the chest settle down here, reaching the hands forward or bringing them by your side. Welcoming a nice deep breath here. Coming to settle into this present moment here on the mat. And opening yourself up to the practice with a sense of exploration, playfulness, honoring your limits as we go through any of the postures today. Knowing where you're at is exactly where you're supposed to be. Taking a nice deep inhale, fill the back body, the rib cage. And a slow exhale, let all of the air go. On the next inhale, we'll just round up to a nice seated position. This is going to be kind of a low back class where we release the hips and the hamstrings to give a nice low back release. So that's kind of the theme of the class today. We're going to go ahead and get started with some movement here. We'll just start with rolling the shoulders back. Still using a nice deep breath here. We'll switch directions with the shoulder roll. Wonderful. We're going to take our hips, dip them over to the right side. So both of your feet are kind of beside the hips. We'll take the left arm, reach it all the way over to the right. Inhaling back up, we'll take the right arm, reach it all the way over to the left. There we go. Better stretch here. Gazing up under the arm. Taking a nice deep breath, release a little bit deeper. We'll come back through center, take this left top leg, cross it over the bottom right leg here. We're setting up for a nice twist. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. Exhale, rotating towards the bent knee. You can hug the knee in towards you or take the arm all the way to the outside. Using that back left hand to support a tall, straight spine. Bring your gaze as far back around the shoulder as possible here. Breathing into the belly button area. And we'll exhale, release, come back to face forward. We're just going to take this bottom bent foot and extend it out in front of us, taking the top foot and hugging it closer to the opposite hip, trying to stack our knees on top of each other here. A one-legged shoelace. We'll inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release over the extended leg. Flexing the foot for a nice, deeper, intense sensation. Inhaling back up. We're just going to go ahead, take this foot on top of the lower thigh. So we're kind of making a figure four shape with that left leg. We're just going to go ahead and kind of move this knee up and down a little bit. Taking the left foot into the right hand, you could take the left hand just on top of the left knee. We're going to start to draw some nice big circles with the foot out and around, opening the hip here. And then releasing the foot back down onto the lower thigh. We make the figure four shape. Our hands come right behind our hips, fingertips facing forward. We'll bend into the knee, plant the right foot down, and pull our chest towards that bent right foot. You actually adjust your fingertips as you like. Yes, so trying to feel a nice release here in the glutes and the hips. We'll release this right foot that's grounded towards the opposite outer hip and ground through that whole leg. And then we'll take the left foot into our hands and extend the foot straight up here. And maybe pull this foot in towards us a little bit, staying nice and tall through the spine. And go ahead and release. We're gonna bend into that extended leg. Bring the left foot to the left hip as you kind of come back into this initial shifted hip position. And we'll just bring the hips back into our thunderbolt. We're going to take it to the other side. The hips fall over to the left. You just bring your feet outside of the hips here. And we'll go ahead, inhale, reach the arms over. Exhale, first just take the right arm overhead. And then we'll reach all the way up. Take the left arm overhead, gazing up here. Breathing nice and deep. We'll inhale, come back through center. Take this top right leg and cross it over the bent bottom left leg. Knee pointing up here. We're setting up for a twist. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twisting over towards the bent knee. We either hug that knee in or take the arm outside of that leg, twisting a lot deeper, bringing your gaze as far back over the right shoulder as possible. Breathing deep into the belly button space here. We'll exhale, release, come back through center. We're going to extend the bottom leg all the way out and then kind of pull this top leg so that the knees kind of stack more on top of each other and it's more released over the extended leg. We'll just inhale, lengthen through the spine, exhale, forward fold in our one-legged shoelace. Breathe. And we'll inhale, come back up. Place this right foot on top of the lower left thigh. And here we just push and lift the knee down and up gently. We'll take the right foot into the left hand and pick this foot up and start to stir, like drawing some circles with the foot as you push the hip open. And stacking that foot right on top of the lower thigh, we'll let the right knee fall open here. We place the hands behind us, bend into the left knee, plant the foot, and then we'll just fold our chest closer to the bent left knee. Pull it in, staying tall through the spine here. And we'll release this left planted foot down to the opposite hip, dropping the knee down. Perfect. We'll take the right foot into the hands as we extend that leg all the way out, straightening through the knee and pulling the leg closer to yourself here. Wonderful. We'll go ahead, release, bending the knee, bringing the right foot down by your right hip, and we'll shift back into our thunderbolt position. We're just going to walk the hands out in front of us, coming into a tabletop. We'll take our cat-cows, drop the navel down, gaze up. Exhale, round through the spine, press those shoulder blades away from each other, tuck the pelvis. Adding your own breath to this movement. Inhale, open. Lift those hips up high. Exhale, round through the spine. Pull the navel towards the spine. We'll inhale once again, opening and closing. Few cat-cows here. And we'll come back to a neutral position. Just coming into a little bird dog action for some balance. We'll take the left arm out in front of us, extend the right leg back behind, trying to keep a straight line through the fingers and toes. We reach the fingertips forward, the toes reach back. We'll bend into the right knee. See if you can catch the foot with your hand, pulling that foot in towards the glute. You can just stay here. You don't even have to grab the foot if it's not in your practice. And if it is, you can kick the foot back into the hands as you kind of lift the chest gaze forward into tiger pose. Gentle back bending here. Inhale and exhale, release both hand and knee down to the ground. We'll take this to the other side. Right hand extends, left leg extends back behind, and we find our balance here. We can just stay in this spot, or we can try to bend the back knee, grab that foot with the right hand, pull it in towards the glute. Again, staying here, or maybe kicking the foot into the hand as we open the chest gaze forward for a little tiger pose. Beautiful. We'll release all the way down, planting hands and feet. Perfect. We're going to go ahead, keep our hips stacked right over our knees. Walk the hands outward, forward ahead of you, and opening the hands away from each other a little bit. And we'll let the chest gently fall down towards the ground. Maybe letting your forehead rest on the mat or bringing your chin towards the mat to gaze forward. Oh, yes. Breathing into the heart space here, our puppy pose, our melting heart pose. We'll bend through the elbows, round through the spine as our hips draw all the way to the ground. We're just going to take our elbows, stack them right underneath our shoulders here, hip palms face down on the ground, and we open the chest in our Sphinx gaze forward, squeezing those shoulder blades back behind you, away from the ears. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can press into the palms, straighten through the elbows, squeezing the glutes to protect the lower back. And maybe walking your hands a little bit closer to you here, if it feels comfortable. Feeling the sensation of your hands drawing back, your chest drawing forward between the arms. Wonderful. We're going to inhale, pick the hips up, push them all the way back into our child's pose, releasing through the spine. We'll inhale, round up to a seated position, tuck the toes behind us, taking a nice toe stretch. Interlacing the hands, we'll just roll the wrists out. Switch in directions. Wonderful. We're going to come up high onto our knees from here. We're going to step the right foot out in front of us, sink the hips forward. You can release the toes if you'd like. And these stretches, it might be nice to have extra support by the hands here. If you'd like, we're just going to gently shift the hips back, straighten through the front knee, flex the toes. We're in a half split pose here. We'll inhale, come forward into a low lunge once more, open the chest forward. And exhale, push the hips back, straighten through the right knee. Perfect. We'll settle into this pose a little bit more. Draw the left hip forward, right hip back. Really straighten through the knee. Should feel like an engagement in the legs. We're going to point and flex the toes here. Flexing as much as possible and pointing as much as possible. Wonderful. We're going to just come back through neutral here, maybe flexing the toes for a deeper sensation. We're inhale, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, we're really going to fold the body over the extended leg, getting a nice sense of compression over in the hip area. Really fold it forward. And we'll release coming back up, kind of onto our fingertips here, flat back. We'll tuck the back toes, straighten through the back knee, lifting the knee off the ground. You can release the front toes down if they're flexed. And we'll just lengthen again through the spine here. And bend into the front knee, shift the hips down into a runner's lunge. Kind of rock the hips out a little bit. And then we'll push the hips back, straighten through the front knee, little pyramid pose action here. Let your chest gently fold over the extended straight leg. And we'll drop this back knee to the ground. Perfect. We're just going to come up and slide this extended leg back into our standing kneeling pose. And we'll take the left leg, step it out in front of us, sinking deep into the hips, coming into a low lunge. Kind of the further back you have the back knee away from you, the more intense the stretch is. Wonderful. We'll plant the hands to frame the foot from here. Just inhale, sink the hips deeper. And exhale, push the hips back. We straighten through the front left knee. Adding movement here first. We'll inhale, come forward back into our low lunge. And exhale, push the hips back again, straighten through the knee. We're in a hamstring stretch here in our half split. Just finding your alignment, drawing the right hip forward, trying to flatten through the back. We're going to point and flex the toes as deeply as possible. Perfect. Flexing the toes for a deeper stretch here. We're going to go ahead, inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold as deep as possible. Get a nice sense of compression over the hip. Deep fold here. And we'll lift the chest back up. We're going to tuck the back toes, lift that back knee. You can release the front toes down if they're flexed here, square through the hips. We inhale, come forward into a low lunge, bend into the front knee. Still a nice straight, engaged back knee. Maybe rock the hips a little bit. And we'll exhale, push the hips back, straighten through the front knee. Wonderful. We're releasing into a pyramid posture from here. Oh. And we'll drop the back knee and slide this extended foot back to meet the other knee in our standing kneeling pose. From here, we're just going to take a quick, easy camel. Still pretty early in the class, so you don't need to take a full one from here unless you'd really like to. We'll bring our hands to our low back. Squeeze our shoulder blades, squeeze our elbows together as we open the chest here. Shoulders drawing away from the ears. Maybe you let the head gaze back behind you. Maybe letting the hands kind of walk down the thighs for a little bit of a deeper back bend. And we'll inhale, come all the way up gently, slowly. We'll plant the hands out in front of us. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and we'll just kind of come down into our cobra position. We're going to do some sun salutations here. So we'll drop the hips low to the ground. We open the shoulder blades towards each other. I mean, we're opening the chest here. Finding your cobra, squeezing those glutes really a lot for deeper back bends. Trying to straighten through the elbows, but that's okay if they need to stay a bit bent here. We'll tuck the back toes, and we're just gently gonna lift the hips up and back, coming into our downward facing dog. Perfect. We'll pedal the feet out to add some movement here. Our chest is really drawing back towards the thighs. Our heels are reaching towards the ground. Ears falling away from the shoulders. Just feel yourself settle into your downward facing dog. Deep inhale into the belly. Exhale, let it all go. We're going to start with some sun salutations, half versions. We'll inhale, come forward into a plank. Exhale, knee, chest, chin, go to the mat. On the inhale, we'll pull forward and up with the chest for cobra. And exhale, release the hips back into a downward facing dog. Once again, we'll inhale, come forward into a plank position. On the exhale, we'll keep our chest lifted, maybe just drop the knees. We'll bend into the elbows, tucking them into a side. Perfect. Not letting the chest drop here. We'll inhale, pull the chest forward and up, cobra. And exhale, tuck the back toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Once again here, inhale, come forward into plank. This time we'll try to keep the knees lifted. Exhale, lower chaturanga push up. We hug the elbows into our side, getting nice and deep here. And then we'll inhale, pull the chest forward and up. Maybe staying lifted off our thighs here so that we're in an upward facing dog. And exhale, push the hips back, downward facing dog. We'll lift the heels, bend the knees. Just take a few steps towards the top of the mat. Feet come hip distance. We're going to release into a dangling pose from here. Bending the knees slightly. We'll grab opposite elbow. Let the head, neck, shoulders be super heavy here. Breathing deep into the belly button. Feel the belly expand. And on the exhale, feel the navel pulling back towards the spine as you hold just a little bit deeper. It's an amazing way to decompress the spine, release the hamstrings, maybe give yourself a little sway side to side. On the inhale, we'll halfway lengthen, straightening through the knees, straightening through the spine. And exhale, release into a forward, maybe shifting your weight forward to your toes a bit more. And we'll inhale, round through the spine, all the way up to standing, reaching arms overhead. And exhale, release. Arms by the side. We're going to go ahead and just keep warming up here with a little sun salutation version. We'll just do one round of a sun salutation A. Inhaling, grounding through the feet, we'll reach the arms overhead. On the exhale, hinge from the hips forward, coming into a nice deep forward fold. On the inhale, we'll halfway lengthen straight into the spine. Exhale, fold and plant the hand, stepping it back into a plank position. On the inhale, we lengthen through the crown and the heels. On the exhale, we lower any way you like. And on the inhale, we pull the chest forward and up, taking a little back bend, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, push the hips back. We're coming into our downward facing dog. Taking 2 cleansing breaths here. We'll inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, and step or little hop towards the top of the mat, releasing into a forward fold. Inhaling, rounding through the spine, all the way up to standing, reaching arms overhead. And exhale, release hands by your side. We'll start with some standing sequence, bringing our big toes together, heels apart. Inhale, we'll sit the hips back into a chair pose, getting nice and low, tucking the pelvis here. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, we'll take our right elbow outside of our right knee here and take a nice deep twist in our chair. Gazing up. And we'll shift our gaze downward. We're going to try to shift our weight into the left foot as the right foot lifts and gently steps all the way back behind us. If you need to release the twist, that's okay. Twisting here in a high lunge. We'll inhale, reach the arms up. The left hand comes back towards the right thigh. Right hand reaches up toward the sky. And we'll come back through center just in a high lunge. Both hands reach up by the ears. Squaring the hips forward. Feel that front knee bent 90 degrees. The back leg is engaged, straightened. Wonderful. Taking a breath here. Just kind of finding your power in the lower body. We're going to go ahead, drop the back knee behind us into our low lunge. You can stay right here in a lifted low lunge, or if you'd like to bend this back knee and try to grab the foot for a little extra quad stretch, maybe you can try. It's kind of hard to get into the quad sometimes. It can be a bit inaccessible, but maybe even if you have a strap or a belt, you can use it to pull the ankle a little bit closer to your glute. We'll release the back foot down. Both hands are going to come inside this bent left knee. And we heel toe the foot to the outer edge of the mat here. We're in a lizard pose. You can stay here if you'd like to lower onto your forearms. See if you can get a little bit more of a hip release here. Breathing through any discomfort you may feel, just signaling to the body, relax. We'll come back up onto the hands from here. We're going to tuck the back toes, lift off the back knee, and we're going to pivot that back foot so the heel grounds and the toes point all the way up. And we sit our hips down towards the left heel in a skandasana side lunge pose. It's okay if you can't sit all the way down. Your hips might be lifted a lot here. That's okay. Just try to feel a nice deep sensation through the hips here. We're going to go ahead and use the power of this left bent knee. We're going to press into that knee, straightening it. And this straight leg will bend. We're coming into a warrior two here. So straighten through the left knee. We bend into the right knee. And we're in a warrior two facing the back of the mat. Opening the hips towards the long side completely here. Gazing over the front fingertips. Sink nice and deep into that knee. Tall, straight spine, shoulders falling away from the ears. We'll take this right forearm onto the thigh, the right thigh, as we reach the left fingertips overhead for a side angle. You can stay here. If you'd like to drop the right hand inside of the right foot to go a little bit deeper, go for it. From here, we're going to drop the left hand down, walk the hands in between the legs, and turn the the right toes towards the long side of the mat, both toes long side of the mat. We're going to heel, pigeon toe the toes towards each other to protect the knees, and we'll release into a wide-legged forward fold. Just giving yourself a moment here to settle in, get a little bit deeper. And we'll inhale, come all the way back up to standing. We'll turn the toes to point outward from here. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhale, we bend into the knees, sink the hips as low as we can here. Keeping a tucked pelvis, strong core. We're in our goddess pose. I'm just going to turn to face you. We'll inhale, lift it back up with the hips. We're going to turn the front toes forward to point forward. These back toes stay perpendicular to the front foot, staying pointed towards the long edge of the mat. We take our arms to a T here. We're going to inhale, draw the fingertips forward, and exhale, release the side over the side, kind of into our triangle pose. Stacking shoulders, stacking hips long through the side body here, gazing up. And we'll inhale, push the body back up to standing, reach the left arm overhead with a reverse triangle. And we'll come forward. We're gonna adjust the back foot here so that we pivot our hips forward. You might need to step the back foot a little bit wider here, and the toes point 45 degrees towards the corner. We're gonna inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, start to fold over the extended front leg. Coming halfway, we'll make a T with the arms here, hold it out flat and through the back. You can stay right here in this stretch, or if you'd like, you can exhale, release the right hand to the inside, on top of, or outside of that left foot. We're coming into a revolved triangle, maybe gazing up at the top left fingertips. And exhale, release both fingertips down, just releasing over the straight leg here. One more time. We'll inhale, lift the body all the way back up. We're gonna shift our weight forward onto this left front foot and try to catch the back right foot in the hand. This is our last standing pose of the sequence. It's a little balancing pose here. We just either stay here or try to kick the right foot into the right hand as our chest draws forward. And we kind of open that foot out. We're in a dancer pose here. So really staying strong through the standing leg. We find a point of focus as an extra limb to help support us. And we'll exhale, release. Drop the right foot down. Shake it out a little bit. We'll come bringing both our big toes together, heels apart. Inhale, sit the hips down. We're in a chair pose, arms by the ears, chest shining forward. We'll take our hands to our heart center. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, left elbow hooks outside of the right knee. And we twist in our chair, gazing up. Moving the gaze downward, shifting the weight into the right foot. We'll hover the left foot and start to step it gently, gracefully, all the way behind us into a twisted high lunge here. We'll sweep the arms up behind us, right arm reaching for the back, left leg, left arm reaching up for the sky. Little twisted high lunge. And just come through center, both arms reaching up by the ears, sinking 90 degrees, low into that front knee, back leg is engaged. Wonderful. Feeling your power here, feeling your strength. We'll exhale, release the back knee down to the ground. Just take a low lunge here. You have the option to bend the back knee, try to catch that left foot with your hand and pull it in closer to your glute. We'll release the left foot down. Both hands come inside of the right leg. We heel toe that right foot out closer to the outer edge of the mat. So we're in a nice lizard pose here. Maybe you'd like to come onto your forearms, whatever you did on the other side. Just take that variation of our lizard on this side. Breathing deep here. Again, just signaling to the body that it's okay to relax here. It's okay to release tension. We'll inhale, press into the palms, come back up, heel. Well, just stay with your hands like this. We're gonna tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and then we rotate that back foot until the toes and knees point all the way up. The hands come kind of in front of you when we face the long side of the mat here. Hips are sinking down towards the right heel, and we're in a little Skandasana side lunge. Try your best. Any variation of a side lunge here is going to get into the left hip pretty good. We're going to go ahead and press into the right leg, straightening through the right leg, bending into the left knee. We press into a warrior two, looking towards the back of the mat. Bending nice and deep, 90 degrees in the front knee, tucking the pelvis here, finding the courage and strength and power of a warrior. Our left forearm will come down onto this left thigh as we reach the right hand overhead for a side angle. If you'd like, you can drop the left palm inside of the left foot to go a little bit deeper here. And we'll release the hands down, walk the hands in between the feet. So we're coming into a wide-legged here, forward fold. Just kind of pivoting the feet, the toes a little bit towards each other. You can inhale, extend straight through the spine. Exhale, release into a wide-legged forward fold. Shifting the hips a little bit more so your weight is over your toes and not so much on the heels. Feel your nice release here. On the last side, we had done a pretty good strengthening horse pose. This time, we're going to see if we can go a little bit more into the flexibility. So we're going to plant the hands here and start to heel toe the feet further and further away from each other, making sure the feet stay grounded here. You don't have to open them too far. You can stay on your palms or come down to your forearms here. Just a little gentle center split. And even though it's not technically a squat and strength pose, we still engage through the glutes here. We still engage through the legs to help us get even deeper into the stretch. We're going to heel toe the feet closer towards each other. Perfect. And inhale, just come all the way back up to standing here with our feet apart. We're facing the long side of the mat. We're going to pivot the front toes forward. The back toes, they stay pointing towards the long side of the mat, parallel to the back edge. We'll bring our arms to a T here. Inhale, draw the fingertips forward, and exhale, fold over the side body as we come into our triangle pose. Reaching those left fingertips up to the sky, bring the gaze upward. And releasing the left hand, or not releasing the left hand. We're just going to inhale, reach the body all the way back up. Right hand comes back overhead, little reverse triangle. We'll come back through center with the body. We pivot and adjust the back foot so that the toes point towards the top left corner. And maybe we have a little bit of a wider stance between the feet here, whatever you find comfortable. We'll inhale, lengthen through the spine here, and then exhale, fold over the extended leg with a flat back. Pausing halfway here, we'll extend the arms nice and long. Inhale, we lengthen. On the exhale, we drop the left hand inside, on top, or outside of the right foot. Outside being the goal here. Squaring the hips off, maybe gazing up towards the sky. We'll release the right hand down. Just frame the foot with the hands here. Release the body over the extended leg. We'll inhale, come all the way back up to standing. We're going to shift our weight into the right foot and try to grab the back foot with the left hand. You can just stay like this, trying to find your balance. No worries if you have to fall out and come back in. It's all part of the practice. You can kick the left foot into the left hand and pull the chest down and forward, coming into our dancer pose. I like to keep this other right arm extended to help me balance a bit more, but just find what works for you here. And we're gonna release left foot down to the ground. Perfect. Shake it out. Give yourself a little shake out. We'll take our feet to the edge of the mat, making a wider stance here, toes pointing outward 45 degrees. Inhale, we'll lengthen through the body. And on the exhale, we'll sit down with the hips. We're coming into a yogic squat here. Great for releasing the back and increasing hip mobility. We'll use our elbows to maybe push the knees away. Sit nice and tall. And no worries if you can't come down very far, that's okay. Maybe shift the hips a little side to side. And we're going to release the hands behind us, coming into a seated position, bringing the bottoms of the feet together. We're just taking a butterfly pose, binding our hands around the feet. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, take a little bow forward. Taking a few breaths here. Every inhale, thinking about lengthening. And every exhale, think about folding a little bit deeper. Hi, almost done. Sorry, I was just checking the time.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Wonderful. Inhale back to seated. We're just going to slide the hips forward, round through the spine, all the way down onto our backs here, extending the legs straight overhead, flexing the feet here. We're just trying to pull the extended legs a little bit closer to us. We'll bend into the knees, grab the outsides of the feet as we open the feet away from each other in a happy baby. Maybe giving yourself a little rock side to side here. Just slowing down the breath. We'll extend one leg straight, hug the other left knee in towards the chest. Inhale, pull the forehead up towards the knee. Exhale, release it down. And we're going to cross this left knee over the body, bringing it towards the right. As we extend the arms long, bring our gaze over to the left. Breathing into the belly here. We'll inhale, come back through center. Switching knees, hug the right knee in. Inhale, draw that forehead to the knee. Exhale, release the forehead down and draw that right knee all the way across to the left, opening the arms, bringing your gaze over to the right. These twists are just always essential to me, so good for detoxification and spinal health. We'll inhale, come back through center, hug the knees in, give yourself a little rock side to side here. You're welcome to take some time to lie in your final resting posture, Shavasana. I'm just going to go ahead, roll over onto either side body and push my way back up into an easy seated pose to close off the practice. But as I've said, you've definitely more than earned a Shavasana. Just take some time to relax, focus on the breath. I'm going to close the practice off with one last breath here. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhaling, bringing thumbs to third eye, connecting to heart, and just bowing to yourself, to your inner light. Thanking yourself for showing up for yourself and doing wonderful things for your mind and body. I thank you, and I hope to see you again next week. Peace, namaste.
Namaste.